To this story now, the Soweto real estate market continues to rise, with many developers expanding sectional title offerings. In 2023, homeowners spent nearly 900 million on 2,200 properties in the highest annual sales value recorded in the iconic township. Joining us to discuss this is Hayley Ivins Downes, head of digital at Lightstone Property. Hayley, thank you very much for your time this evening. You know, I must say the outperformance of Soweto's housing market is quite intriguing, especially in this very volatile economy. Just talk us through the market data for Soweto.
Thank you very much. It's lovely to be here. And yes, so we've seen some really good stats in Soweto, and specifically for the last year. And we really look at volume as well as the prices that are transacting. So we've seen an uptick in volume, probably at the rate of 2016. And I think more telling is the value of property that's actually being purchased. So what we're seeing is an average value of about 400,000 when we look at kind of the properties that are being purchased and kind of focusing on certain areas.
Which is quite decent. So what exactly is driving this uptick?
So I think Soweto in itself has we've seen a more movement towards people kind of living there, moving out and moving back. And also linking to that is obviously the favorable rates. It's lower. You moving back into your cultural environment. I think there's a big drive for that. The other thing that we've also noticed is that people are also buying to rent, which is also really great, because that obviously, you know, that's an investment. So really good for young people to be doing.
So would you say then it's prompted by the rising cost of living, that here many people would want to get more value for their money, be it, like you say, the lower rates, be it the more square meters that you'd get in Soweto?
Definitely. And I think also value of property. I think, you know, when we're looking at the average value and where those price bands are, if we look at price inflation at the moment, you're looking at that being about 2% compared to the rest of Gauteng, which is 0.4%. So there's definite value in Soweto with those price bands. And that extends from your 500,000 up to your 1.5 million. So really good value.
So if we had to be a bit more granular, data indicates that Protea Glen as well as Jabulani account for majority of the sales that we're seeing now.
Yes.
Why specifically these suburbs?
So yes, 52% of the sales in Soweto are those three suburbs, and obviously linking to demand. It's availability of property, there's developments happening, it's affordability. So once again, we look at the pricing on that, and that varies between 400,000 to 600,000. So I think very much an area that people are able to afford and can actually move into. So growing areas within Soweto.
Is it also perhaps closer to amenities where you have more the shopping complex?
Definitely
near
shopping centres.
Protea Glen?
Absolutely. I think that's a big driving force and factor. It's around transport. It's around keeping close to your shops, keeping close to the banks. All of that plays a part.
So for those that are in the space of investment, even young people wanting to invest in Soweto, they may be living in the suburbs, maybe northern suburbs, etc. For them looking to invest now, would you say this would be the opportune time to do so in these particular two that we've spoken of? And perhaps they can get some people to rent?
Absolutely. What we're seeing across Gauteng at the moment is very much a buyer's market. So now is the time to buy a property. If you have affordability to buy a property, now is the time. We're finding that obviously with interest rates where they are, affordability is a question mark. And as a result, you are getting properties valued at a rate that is affordable. Those properties will be increasing in value as soon as that demand lifts up with interest rates dropping. So definitely if you have the cash, now would be a good time to buy.
Hayley, thank you very much for your insights this evening. That's Hayley Ivins Downes. She's head of digital at Lightstone Property.